Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Nima Boa and today we're going to be reacting to a TikTok compilation, and it's not going to be another Vogue TikTok compilation. Today we're going to be reacting to Would You Stay With Your Partner After He's Cheated, and we're going to hear people's different perspective on this subject, and it's going to be very interesting. I also like to hear your guys' opinions, so always leave down a comment. This is going to be very interesting because just the base of my personal conversation with other people, and we start talking about relationships and what defines a relationship. There are really a big difference in what people would define as a relationship. I often find myself like I will, if you ask me, I would say that I've never been in a relationship. But when I have conversations with other people, asking what they would define a relationship and their prior experience, I often find that I've been in several relationships according to some people, but it just seems like the standards are quite low now. Like it just seems like if you're just messing about having fun with the person for a while, then it has a title of being boyfriends and girlfriends, or boyfriends and boyfriends, girlfriend and girlfriends, like a serious relationship. Let's just get right into it and see what they have to say.
Always said if someone cheated on me that I'd be done, I'd be out. Well, until it happened to me. I was 24, well, about to be 24. I'd been with him for over 7 years. He was all I've known since I was 16. To make it worse, we just got married about 6 months ago. We were newlyweds.
Okay.
And I found out he was having an affair with his coworker. I truly could have bet $1 billion he would never be the type of person to ever cheat on me. So I think I was just in a lot of shock, and it took me months to process. So I stayed for about 4 months. Those 4 months taught me that if I'm ever cheated on again, I'm out the door that second. I'm not wasting any time. And after the betrayal, when he wasn't with me, I was in a constant state of just like anxiousness, and I couldn't take it. I needed to look at his phone. The affair partner was a coworker. I didn't trust him at work. I didn't trust him to go on a drive. I was just constantly in like a paranoid state, fight or flight. I would have nightmares. I couldn't even escape it in my dreams. Even like our good times, you know, we would try to go out to dinner, things like that. It would still just hit me. One moment I'm laughing, and the next it hits me in the brain of what he did to me and is currently doing to me, and it would just like send me into a rage. I hated myself for during those 4 months. I'm goofy, I'm fun, I'm carefree, I'm lighthearted, I'm loving, and like I was none of that. I was not sleeping, I was not eating, I was angry, I was sad. My whole world flipped upside down. Like, you have so much trust in someone and it's just completely betrayed. I know I would have never fully trusted him again. I can't control what someone's gonna do to me, and that's all on him, and he broke that trust. He betrayed me, but I can't control the life that I live, and I will never be in that situation again. So to the TikToks I'm seeing about betrayal trauma and people trying to stay, please leave. Not to mention, he was not doing the affair recovery work. He was continuing his affair, and he became very mentally abusive.
I'm not a therapist or anything. I'm just gonna state my opinion on what she would do in this situation. So for her, I feel like it was a really good idea that she left the relationship because clearly it was bothering her, it was affecting her. She couldn't even get sleep and she couldn't focus at work. So that just shows you that you would need to leave because the damage is done and there's not really anything that could repair it. But I'm a little bit suspicious of wondering if she ever had the conversation with the guy and like ask all the questions that she was thinking about regarding the cheating, like why it happened, and maybe what she could have done better, or what he could have done better, and how they could have handled the situation, and how they could prevent that from happening again. Like, did she have that full-on conversation? Because for some people, when I hear them talk about like when they have been cheated on, you can hear in their voice that they're hurt by the situation, but they don't want to leave and they want to work it through, but they're not. But they're also afraid of asking the questions, like what's it called? Like taking the what is it called now? Not pantsing around the situation, but actually take having it hands on. How do you say that? Basically, just talk about everything, even like the things you probably don't even want to hear about, like regarding the cheating and how it happened. Like, did they have that full on conversation? That's what I'm interested in hearing. Um, but he seems like he's continued cheating, and then he was like mental abusive. So it's a good thing that she left. But that's definitely something that I would like to know if she was like sitting across me and we were having this conversation, because how are you gonna give like the full on a good advice when you don't know those things? Okay, leaving a relationship after infidelity.
If you've been cheated on recently and you're trying to decide whether or not you should stay with your partner, I have a story. So when I was in that situation myself and I was trying to make sense of all the things and what should I do, should I stay, should I go, etc., I heard this quote, and it was Gabrielle Union. She was talking in an interview, and they were asking her for advice, like relationship advice, and she was like, I literally don't understand why people ask me this, because she, and with her husband, she's happy, but he had cheated on her, pretty sure he had a baby with someone else, all of the things. And she was like, this is what I'll say: if I was the woman that I am today, I wouldn't have stayed. And that just stuck with me. Like, that haunted me, because I was like, oh my God, I don't want to stay with this person and grow and do all these things. Like, I want to be that woman today. And so, you know how it's like, you'll never regret a workout? You'll never regret leaving a cheater. Make the decision for the woman that you want to be, and not necessarily the woman that you are today.
Okay, so that whole thing about regretting leaving a cheater, you'll never regret it. I don't know, because it really depends on who you attract as well. That's like the thing. Like, I like to hear those people's different perspective, but you cannot just take everything that she says to have, because it really depends on who you are, who you attract as well. Because there's some people that just like bad people, and when I say bad people, it's just like not only cheating but a lot of other things. So it's just like, well, if you have that kind of a type, well, it's gonna occur again. It's not like you fall for the good guy or someone that wants to talk about feelings or talk about different aspect of the relationship and like the more in-depth kind of a guy. Some people just like this shallow douchebag, and with that comes things like that. So you cannot really say that. Well, it really depends on, of course, as I said, who you are attracted to. I did like her perspective, and yeah, but it's funny how people are like saying like, oh, when they were younger, they would like try to work through with the cheating. When I was younger, I wouldn't give a damn about the cheating. I would just leave right away. Like, no matter if he's the right guy or not, I would just wouldn't care. I think I would just leave right away. Whereas now, when I'm getting older, I think I wouldn't be like, it would hurt me, but I wouldn't be as affected by it like if I was 18 or 19. So it really depends on how you mature and how you see things as well. But it's very interesting what she said. So let's hear this. Are you a fool if you stay with your cheating partner?
So, if you choose to stay with your spouse or partner after an affair, you're kind of a fool, right? You're just kind of weak. You're kind of an idiot. You're not very smart. You probably have no self-esteem. And basically, you're just staying because you don't want to do anything else and you have no options. I hate this narrative so much. And I don't know where this idea came from.
I thought she was about to go to another direction.
There's no potential for forgiveness or growth or change. I wholeheartedly believe people can heal from affairs. I've seen it happen a bunch of times. And I keep telling you guys this because obviously I'm passionate about it, but because I want to give you hope. You don't have to stay in a relationship if you don't want to. But if you choose to stay, that doesn't mean that you are dumb or unintelligent or have low self-esteem or low self-confidence or anything. It may just mean that there's enough good there that you want to try to work on it. And you don't have to stay on the same path you begin on, right? You might say, like, okay, I want to try to heal it and let's see how that goes. And you could change your mind at any point. So please reject whenever anyone is telling you, oh, you are just a total chump and a total fool if you stay in this relationship. Because, according to science, people are 300% more likely to have a second affair after their first affair. Well, that is technically true. However, people do change. right? You've done things in your life that really shook you, right? And you change from that point on. That happens with people who cheat too. So please believe in the power of change. Look for changed behavior. And if you want to stay, know that that means that you're strong and loving and compassionate. There is nothing wrong with you. You don't have to stay if you don't want to. But if you want to try and heal your relationship because there's a lot of good there, please do. Please do. I'm here for you every step of the way. Big hugs.
100% agree with what she's saying. The whole thing of like trying to make a person seem like they're a fool for staying, that's wrong. I don't believe in that. But it's also like at some point, if he keeps doing it, you need to do the healing yourself, and also like, I'm not heal. Let me heal all the time. So the person you're with, I totally agree with what she's saying. So if the person you're with keeps cheating, I also find that you need to do the healing yourself. And if you still want to stay in the relationship, whereas maybe the cheating is just like the main problem and everything else in the relationship is really good, I find that maybe you should also just accept that flaw in that person without having to say something like, well, I know you're going to cheat anyways, but I still like to be in a relationship with you. Like, don't say that, but just know within yourself that, okay, I like this person, he has this flaw, but everything else is good. Or I really like him, I still want to stay with him. If you just have that revelation and find peace within that, then I feel like you can still have a good relationship. Or not. Like, I wouldn't be with a guy that cheats. That's just me. But for some people, they really just want to stay in a relationship because they really, really like that person and they cannot see themselves living without that person. So for them, I feel like that would be like a good way to go about it. What do you guys think?
If you stayed with your husband after you found out that he cheated on you, I totally get it. And I want to give you some credit for it. It's not easy to forgive that. So let's shine some light on it. Hello, my name is Carla, and it's time to challenge your belief system. I want to go ahead and put out a disclaimer. This video is not promoting cheating. I'm not encouraging for you to stay in a toxic relationship where there's abuse, physical, emotional, or psychological abuse. I am simply giving credit to those women who feel alone because they stayed with their cheating husband. This is specifically for women that already had a family established. I'm also not saying that my partner cheated on me, because that's not the case. As women, the moment that we decide to get married and have children, that is a moment that we need to understand we have a burden to bear. Our burden as women is not to provide, but it's to keep harmony within the family. That includes children. We need to understand that as soon as we take away a pillar or a foundation of a child who is barely developing, we are setting them up for doom. This is coming from experience. The moment my parents split for 2 years and took a break was a moment my life changed 180 for the worst. Within those 2 years, I needed to drop out of college, and I let a very toxic man into my life because I was very unsure, uncertain, and confused. Because my foundation was not strong. And this is when I was a lot older that I had more independence when my parents were taking a break. Imagine the detrimental effects of a child that is in middle school or in high school. And you can reverse that and say precisely that is why you need to get out of a toxic relationship. Again, this is not talking about a toxic relationship. This is specifically talking about a husband that cheats or a wife that cheats once and confesses to the partner of their sins. It is absolutely valid to forgive if both parties want to work in the relationship because there's a bigger loss here. And I repeat, I say husband, not boyfriend, not fiance, husband. This is just one out of the many reasons why I understand women that decide to stay in their marriage after finding out that their husband was unfaithful. But the point of this video is to support those women who actually stay in a marriage, not judge them. Because like it or not everybody is strong enough, emphasis on to leave. It requires strength if you stay or if you leave. If you stay because it requires the strength to forgive and be compassionate to your partner and start all over. And if you leave because it is scary to walk away from something familiar. Women are bound to lose in the situation if they stay or if they go. But the difference here is deciding the future of your children. I know that we all like to think that
Lose.
this world revolves around
Wait.
husband. This is just one out of the many reasons why I understand women that decide to stay in their marriage after finding out that their husband was unfaithful. But the point of this video is to support those women who actually stay in a marriage, not judge them. Because like it or not everybody is strong enough, emphasis on to leave. It requires strength if you stay or if you leave. If you stay because it requires the strength to forgive and be compassionate to your partner and start all over. And if you leave because it is scary to walk away from something familiar. Women are bound to lose in the situation if they stay or if they go. But the difference here is deciding the future of your children. I know that we all like to think that this world revolves around us and it all depends on our happiness and our peace, blah, blah, blah. But the moment that we as women decide to have a child, that is no longer the case, unfortunately. Not for at least 20 years. And I want you to go ahead and ask yourself, as a woman, have you judged anyone for staying in their marriage after finding out that one of their partners was unfaithful? Because I can almost guarantee you that judging someone because they decide to stay does not make you a better person. Ladies, be wise.
10 reasons.
Okay, round of applause for her, because I absolutely loved everything that she said. And I feel like whatever she said in that video, also when you think about how the society is today, I feel like we could also maybe take the title down a little bit, so it's not just the things that she's saying applies for a person that you're married to, but also someone that you're in a serious relationship with, because not everyone wants to have that title, but there's still value and take the relationship as serious as a marriage. So I feel like all the things that she said also applies to them as well. But everything that she said, she was on point. I liked everything that she said. And yeah, definitely, if you're going to take anything from this video, I definitely feel like that section of her talking like that is definitely something that you should maybe like rewatch and really just let it sink in, because that was really good. Okay, so 10 reasons not to go back to your partner after they cheat on you.
Why you shouldn't go back to your partner if they cheated on you. Even though this might seem scarily obvious to some people, other people need the extra reassurance and help when pondering this debate. Number 1, you will never fully trust them again. When your partner is intimate with somebody else, that literally breaks a whole new level of trust that you will never be able to gain back. Even if you think you're over it, subconsciously, you're never going to be over it and you're never going to have trust for that person again. Number 2, they don't love you. If they loved you, they would never do that to you and hurt you like that. And if your partner's in love with you, you're constantly going to be on their mind and they wouldn't.
So the whole thing about the partner not loving you if the person cheats on you, I don't really know about that, because there are really some stories when people cheat where I'm just like, how could it even be an accident that you cheated? Like, do you know what I mean? So it's like a little bit hard about, I don't know. What do you guys think? Because cheating doesn't just happen accidentally. Like, no way that it can happen accidentally. But it also can't, yeah. But it also depends on the depth of the relationship. Do you know what I mean? Like how connected are you guys really? And if the person cheats, maybe that's like an indicator for that person not being as invested in the relationship as you maybe thought they were. But yeah, that's interesting.
Even have the time to fucking cheat on you. Number 3, they are not ready to be in a relationship. A partner that cheats is somebody that's deeply insecure within themselves, so they damn well should not be in a relationship if they're too insecure to even keep one partner. Number 4, if they cheat on you and you let it slide, they're gonna think it's okay to do it again. Number 5, you are gonna have resentment for this person forever. Number 6, you should be dating to marry. Now think, do you want the father of your children to be a cheater who's been inside of somebody else during your relationship? I don't think so. Number 6, you straight up deserve better. By staying with that person, you're constantly going to be questioning your self-esteem and self-worth, and you're probably going to go try to find reassurance elsewhere too. Number 7, by staying with this person, it's preventing you from finding your actual husband or wife. Number 8, your friends and family are always going to hate him. Even though your relationship shouldn't be on what your support system thinks, don't you want to be with somebody that your family and friends love? Number 9, their excuses are literally bullshit. They're going to come up with every single excuse in the book, but it's all such an invalid piece of shit excuse. And you guys, please do not fall for the drunk excuse. And number 10,
Yeah.
it's simply just not meant to be. If this relationship were meant to be, that partner would not have cheated. Let me finish the rest off camera. And here is the final makeup look. Love you guys.
Well, I mean, was she lying? Like, I do get her perspective, but I feel like she was a little bit more of the like the wretched version. But she's right though, in some of the things. Well, a lot of the things. But it really depends on how you also formulate it. Yeah.
Give a second chance after somebody cheated on you. So let's talk about the different scenarios. The first one is when somebody cheated on you and you found out by yourself. So they didn't even tell you. So they decided for you that you are staying after what they've done. They didn't even give you an opportunity to choose for yourself. But let's talk about a different scenario where at least they had an audacity to tell you. And now you are thinking, maybe I should forgive them. So for the first few weeks, they will be on their best behavior because they will still feel guilty. And you will be so paranoid because every time they will receive a text or every time they will go to the bathroom, even for longer than usual, you will be so paranoid. You will be thinking, what are they doing there? And at first, while they still feel guilty, they will give you reassurance. But in a couple of months, while you are still working through your trust issues and through your trauma, they will start getting annoyed and they will make you a bad one in this relationship because you don't believe them even though you shouldn't. You're over controlling, blah blah blah. You are bad. So now you thought that you were doing somebody a favor, but in reality now they're twisting it and gaslighting you. Let's imagine that you're still staying with them and now you're married and you have kids, and this is where the biggest problem
That's a
is.
toxic one.
Because the way I was raised, both of my parents were praising each other in front of me. And for me as a child, it gave me so much confidence because I was like, wow, both of my parents are so talented, so smart. Because it was easy for my parents to praise each other. But will you be able to praise your partner who cheated on you in front of your kids now? Like, will you be able to say that this is such an amazing man or amazing woman? Or will you not be able to do that? And if you are doing this, are you now lying to your children? And now this is the role model with who your children are growing up? Because in the moment when you're thinking that you will forgive a cheater, it might be just a short-term decision, right? But life is so unexpected and you don't know what are the ways of you getting trapped in there. So please be extremely careful and always assume that if you are making a decision, would you be okay with this choice, with your choice long term? What if you cannot take it back? Life is so dangerous when you're surrounded by people who can stab you in the back any moment. Imagine living with them in the same household and giving them access to your children. So that's why I don't believe in second chances.
Okay, well, she's kind of right in some of the things, but I will also say that, like the whole thing with the kids and saying that you love this person and the kids seeing that, I feel like, especially when that kid's involved, you definitely have to work through the problems. So you're like, cultural healthy state and where the kids doesn't, because kids pick up on things very easily. Like I feel like a lot of people think that it takes a lot for kids to, or maybe that kids don't pick up on a lot of things, but they do really pick up on a lot of things. So I definitely feel like the parents should really work through the things and make sure that they're in a good state where it doesn't influence the kids. But you always have to be careful with who you put in or who you invite into your house when you have kids, for sure. Like regardless of if it's a partner or anything, you really have to be careful because you never know with people nowadays. And not even nowadays. I just feel like in general, it's always been like that. I just feel like a lot more things are coming to the forefront where we hear a lot about things because news circle a lot easier without having to go through like news channels. It's just like on social media. So yeah. Ooh, what else did I want to say? I'm gonna cut it here and then there will be a part 2 later on. So yeah, but it's very interesting to see what people have when it comes to like the perspective on cheating in a relationship, if they should stay or if or if they should go. I personally feel like it really depends on the dynamic of the relationship. Was it a good relationship to begin with, or would the cheating be the icing on the cake, and then it's like the final straw? Then you should definitely leave. Do you see something in that person? Like what is your goal with the relationship? And like there's so many things that you have to take into account when it comes to like making the decision if you should stay or you should go. If you would ask me, I would definitely say I would go, but at the same time, I don't know what kind of relationship I would be in if that happened. Like I might be married, I might have kids, I might be just in that relationship where we live together and we really love each other. We just want to live the rest of our lives together without kids. Like what is the what is the situation? It's really hard to really make that decision unless you are. It's really hard to make that decision until you are in that situation, like knowing if you would want to stay or go. So it's very interesting to see these people's perspective. There's a lot of good advice as well. And one thing I would like to say is that you're definitely not a loser. If you choose to go or if you choose to stay, I will definitely say if you choose to stay and it's like a situation that keeps repeating itself, at some point you definitely have to just be honest with yourself and still take the issues up when it occurs, but still have that realization and understanding within yourself that this is just something that's gonna probably keep on going. And if you are gonna stay with a person, even though they've cheated 10 times, then maybe that's what you should maybe have in the back of your mind when it keeps occurring, so it doesn't affect you as much as it did in the beginning. So I definitely feel like that's something that you should think about if you're with a cheating partner, because usually it can like when something like that happens, it can be from both sides. Like, what role did I play in my partner cheating? And sometimes it's just the partner just doing dumb shit, honestly, and has nothing to do with you. So you really need to have an understanding of the relationship and be honest with yourself as well. Like, because honesty can hurt, but it definitely also eases a lot of things where you don't hold on to things that has nothing to do with you, so it doesn't have a negative impact. Oh yeah, so that was what I had to say about this situation. What do you guys think about the different perspective of cheating in a relationship? And have you guys ever experienced being in a relationship where a partner cheated on you? Let me know. And also, if you have and you want to tell me about it, like if you stayed, why did you stay? If you left the relationship, why did you leave the relationship? Give me like a little bit of an in-depth so I can like understand the dynamic of the relationship and how serious the relationship was. Was it like a future kind of a thing, like with marriage and kids, or moving in together, or like that whole thing? I would like to read about that. That would be really interesting. And yeah. Okay, so that was it, you guys. Like, subscribe, and maybe I'll see you in my next video. Bye.